Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Marsha with Buy Sell Plan. If you're new here, welcome. I do lots of videos on functional planning, so if that's your thing, I hope you will consider sticking around and subscribing for more. And for those returning, welcome back. So this is going to be my February February recap and setting my goals for March. So full disclosure, I have done this already. So today I'm just going to be walking you through it. Hopefully it'll be a little quicker than my normal planning videos. But just in case, maybe grab yourself a drink. I'm drinking a bubbly. My favorite is the lime because it kind of reminds me of Sprite or 7-Up. And because I don't drink pop, this is the next best thing. And also, so if you watched my full planner flip, detailed planner flip that I posted, I think a week ago, something like that, I was in my pink vintage Aurora. And in that video, I said, I have such planner peace, I'm probably not going to be switching. And then guess what I did the next day? I switched into my dusty blue. And the reason I did is because I'm obsessed with bows right now, and I love this scrapbook paper. And this came in one that I got at Christmas time. It's called Gala by Recollections. But there was a lot of scrapbook, like a lot of pages in there that aren't specific to Christmas. So I just love this, and I thought this would be a really nice cover page in my planner. And so that's what I did, and I love it. And I wanted to do all the pink accents. And I just, the blue and the pink, it just looks so good. So anyhow, that's why I'm in the blue binder. So I've got my goals done. I like to do my recap and set my goals in my notebook first before putting it on my actual inserts. So in case I make mistakes, it doesn't matter if it's messy in here. This is kind of like a brain dump sort of notebook. It's everything and anything, no rules. So I did my recap and my goals. So I'm gonna have that open while I walk you through. So let's grab my planning task card, and we're doing monthly planning today. Okay, so first up is to recap last month. So there's two parts to my goals that I recap. I recap my quarterly goal planning. Yes, I'm going to use this to cover my March goals. So recap my February goals, and then recap my numbers, my activity numbers. I'm a real estate agent, so my sales numbers will recap those as well. Okay, so let me see if I can fit these both in here, because I did elaborate on my goals here. So the first goal was to do, okay, so my top 3 goals for February were in my real estate business to build momentum, buy, sell, plan, and wellness. So for real estate was to focus on lead generation by doing 2 open houses, doing calls 3 times a week, and doing 12 CMAs. So let's see how I did with that. So for my lead gen, I did do my 2 open houses. Calls 3 times a week, I did 6 out of 12 times. So 3 times a week would have been 12 times in the month. So I did calls 6 times in the month. So I did not hit that goal. And for CMAs, I wanted to do 12. I did 0. I thought at some point in the month, I was like, oh, I've done a couple, but I hadn't. They were end of January. So yeah, I didn't do any of my CMAs in February. And February was an amazing month. It was busy, and I hit a lot of goals, but I didn't have time to do those extra things that I wanted to do. But that's okay. We'll get those done this month. Okay, so my buy sell plan goal was to focus on YouTube, uploading a minimum of 8 videos, doing some housekeeping with my YouTube channel, and then plan my first series that I want to film. So as far as uploading a minimum of 8 videos, I uploaded 13 videos. So I hit that goal. Housekeeping, yeah, we did some housekeeping there. And the main thing with that was my thumbnails. I've been struggling with coming up with good thumbnails that are enticing, but not too busy and chaotic. So I've decided at this point, I'm just going to keep it simple, and I'm only going to be posting just a photo to give an idea of what the video is about. I'm not going to worry about titles and all that kind of stuff. because underneath the picture is, or underneath the thumbnail is a description of what the video is. So that will evolve over time. I know that. So yeah, not putting too much pressure on myself. I'm just going to keep that really simple for now. And then planning my series, I've started. I've got a whole bunch of things brain dumped and written down, but I just need to put it all together. So that didn't get finished. And then my wellness goal was to focus on stamina. So by doing 2 strength workouts a week, 3 to 5 mobility workouts per week, and then focusing on my evening routine. So 2 strength workouts a week. I missed 1 week. So when I look at my habit tracker, so really, if my goal was to do 2 strength workouts a week, that would have been 8 times in the month, and I did 7. But technically, the week of the 17th, I didn't. We were so busy that week. We were pretty much like out in the field every day. So I was too tired to focus on exercise. Yeah, so I missed that 1 week. So that's why I say I didn't hit the goal, because I missed an entire week of doing strength. I did other things, but I didn't do my strength workouts. Okay. Mobility 3 to 5 times a week. I didn't do very well. The goal would have been between 8 and 12 times in the month, and I only did my mobility 5 times in the whole month. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5 times in the whole month. So not too good there. And mobility exercises are what my physiotherapist gave me to do, or prescribed me to do, to strengthen the areas that I'm in physio for, which will help me with my strength training and all the other types of activity that I like to do. And so I need to make that a priority, which is why I did a habit tracker, and I am doing a habit tracker for March as well. Okay. And then my evening routine, I've been doing so good with that, you guys. So reading is part of my evening routine. I wanted to track how many times I read last month. So did I write that down? I read 11 times in February, but only 6 times in January. So it's improving. Yeah, so this is part of my evening routine. So reading at 11 p.m. was my goal. In the last week or week and a half of the month, I've been in bed at like between 9:30 and 10 with my book, or in bed at like 10 to go to sleep, because I've been so tired, because February was such a busy month. We were out doing so much driving for showing houses and selling houses that, yeah, I was so exhausted. So I was in bed, like I would say definitely the last like week and a half or so, I was going to bed by 11 and waking up early, which has been awesome. And I'm continuing with that momentum. So yeah, I checked that off because I've been doing well with my evening routine, as far as starting my evening routine at about 9:30-ish, like as far as washing my face, brushing my teeth, doing any light stretching, getting myself in that bedtime mode. And then when I have had the energy, read a couple chapters before I go to sleep. Okay, so that's how I did with my top 3 goals for February. And then as far as my activity numbers, let's go to my KPIs. So last month for February, my goal was 230 contacts. I did 91, so I missed my goal by 139. For leads, I missed my goal by 31. And then I hit my appointment booked goal. The goal was 4. And then as far as appointments held, I surpassed that goal by 2. I went on 5 appointments, and then 5 signed on with us, and the goal was 3. So I surpassed that goal by 2. And then firm deals, we sold 3 houses. The goal was 2, so plus 1. Okay. And then as far as where I am for the quarter so far, I hope you're following along. So part of my process here is I recap last month, and then I recap where I'm at for the current quarter. Okay. And then year to date. So for the current quarter, which is the same as year to date because we're only 2 months into the year. So my goal was to read 3 times a week. I've read 6 times in January, 11 times in February. So I'm building momentum on that. And then my goal was to do market updates for my real estate socials, and I didn't do any market update for January. February just took off like a rocket, and I had no time. I think it was the middle of February by the time I even had time to analyze the stats for January. So yeah, I didn't do a market update in January. I'm sorry, for January. And then I wanted to do more storytelling type of content. Again, February was so busy, I had no time to plan that or even film it. And honestly, it just was not a priority to do that. Okay, rate card, I didn't get my rate card done. I didn't spend any time with my human design at all this year so far. So not just February because it was busy, but January was busy as far as building up momentum and booking the appointments and things like that to get things going. So I haven't spent any time with that. Habit trackers, I didn't do any habit trackers in January, but I did in February. And I'm really glad that I did, even though I didn't reach all of the goals as far as like the frequency. It helped me a lot to see where the gaps were. So I'm really glad that I did. Okay, and then I wanted to develop a content calendar. We haven't done that yet. Exercise tracker, I have not made an exercise tracker yet, and I have not filmed my first series yet. So that's how I'm doing with my goals year to date. And then as far as numbers, my activity numbers year to date, behind on my contacts by 238, behind on my leads by 62. However, I'm on track for appointments booked, appointments held, and contracts signed. And then I'm just behind by 1 as far as firm deals. And what I did here was I went through and let me show you my business plan here. So when I do my goals for the year, they're based on the previous year's conversions as far as, show percentage and closing percentage and things like that. Okay, so what I did was I redid this here. So it's all covered up because I lots of confidential information there. But I redid them here with my current conversion rates for this year so far. And all of my numbers went down. So based on my current ratios, I would need to do 20 transactions instead of 24. I would need to go on 26 appointments instead of 40. I would need to book 27 appointments instead of 46, 270 leads instead of 460, and then 1620 for contacts instead of 2760. So I'm not changing anything in here yet. I'm going to keep this as is because that's only 2 months of data, and it happened to be a really good 2 months, but I don't know that the whole year is going to be like that. We don't know yet how things that are going on in the world events are going to impact the real estate market. And interest rates are decreasing here, but not enough to really make things happen. So I'm not gonna, take that for granted, but I'm really happy to see that. And I am currently at 117% of my GCI goal for the year so far. So I'm trending the way I should be trending. I'm trending up, and I'm really happy about that. So I'm not changing anything as of yet, but stay tuned. Stay tuned as the year goes on and see if I progress that. Okay, so that's my year to date and setting my goals for next month. So the main goals that I set would be for my real estate business, my buy-sell plan, and my wellness journey. So for real estate, the focus is consistency. Consistency is better than anything, right? So I realized that especially during my busy times, doing calls 3 times a week was a little bit daunting last month. And I found that I had that kind of hanging over my head. Like if I missed my calls because something came up, and then I would have it hanging over my head all day. And I just don't like that pressure. I don't like that feeling like I'm not doing enough. So I set my goal, I changed my goal to 2 times per week as opposed to 3 times a week. And not to say that on a good week, if I don't have to be out of the house so much, that I won't do 3 or 4 times. If I'm feeling good and things are flowing, absolutely I will, but minimum twice a week. Daily check-in with Ryan. We found that a couple things fell through the cracks last month because of how busy we were. So my husband does all of the back end stuff in our business, like maintaining the website, the marketing, all the administrative things. And then I'm the sales, I'm the calls, I'm the overcoming objections and booking the sales meetings and all that stuff, right? So some things fell through the cracks because we were just go, 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 and we didn't have time to sit down. Other than in the car, we'd have conversations about what's going on, but just that day-to-day, what's your focus? What's your action plan for the day? And then me telling him what mine is. And then that way we both know what each other's doing and we can better support each other. So that's what this is about. Just a quick, 10 minutes in the morning before we start our day. To make sure that we're checking in with each other. And then 8 CMAs. 12 CMAs was probably a little ambitious, so I set a goal to do 8 CMAs instead of 12. And then for buy sell plan, I want to build some momentum. We weren't able to focus on buy sell plan at all last month, apart from me uploading my videos. But as far as our shop, we do have a shop where all of our inserts, all my inserts here, are my design. And so we opened a shop late last year. So these are all in there. And by the way, Q1, which is January, February, and March, we have 50% off right now because there's only 1 month left. So if you haven't purchased these yet, now would be a good time. So so that's what this month is all about. Now that we do have a listing that we'll be putting on the market this month, but I think that might be the only one. We might be busy with a couple buyers, but that's okay. So we'll be able to dedicate some time to buy sell plan. So I want to finish inserts. I have a whole list of inserts that I still need to make my planner even more functional. So I want to get those finished and get them up in the shop. We actually did 4 inserts this past weekend. So we made great progress already. I would like to post my first blog on my website and then film my first series. So I have to finish planning it and then filming my first series so that in Q2 I can start posting those. I want to offer more value videos to you guys instead of just here's how I plan. I'm actually finding that my plan with me videos aren't getting as much engagement as other types of videos. So I'm looking at changing things up a little bit. We'll see. I might not do a weekly plan with me. I'm working on some things. So stay with me. If you have any ideas of what you would like to see, please let me know. So that's my buy sell plan goal. And then for wellness, my main focus is just to reset 2 strength workouts a week, 2 to 3 mobility workouts a week. And then as far as my diet, I want to focus on 40% carbohydrates, 30% protein, 30% fat. I used to follow this way of eating many years ago when I was an athlete for many years. And I was at the top of my, I don't know, what would you say, like my wellness. I felt great. I was really strong. I slept great, all of those things. And then being in perimenopause, it's even more important that I'm taking care of this, taking care of my diet. I think I'm starting to develop insulin resistance. Although last time I had my blood work done, my sugars were perfect. However, I've gained weight and I am a very active person and I already eat well and I can't seem to lose it. So this is why this diet here is like, it's focused on keeping your blood sugar stable through the day. So if every meal has these ratios of carbs, proteins, and fats, healthy fats, of course, then that works to help keep your blood sugar stable throughout the day. So that's what my goals are for March. Okay. Good. And then scheduling my month would be next, which is already done. Oh, let me share my action plan with you. So this is part of my goals that I set in my, here. So this is just helps me break it down and elaborate on it even more. So I have consistency, momentum, and resetting right here. So these are my 3 goals at the top, and then underneath are my top focuses. For my consistency here, I have with the calls 2 times a week, daily check-in, and then my 8 CMAs, which is the same, but I added another one in that I thought of while I was doing this, which was listing package. So we used to always have probably 10 listing packages ready to go so that if we book a last minute listing appointment, we have everything that we need. And we have run out of our carbon copies, which we can only buy at our board office. And so I went on some listing appointments last month, and here I am literally writing everything out twice so that I can give my client their copy of the contract. Because ideally they should get the copy of the contract the same day as the appointment. So I'm like writing everything out twice to make sure that they have a copy. And I said to Ryan, like, we've got to get our carbon copies back. So that's why I put that there. So once we get those, then we can get everything together again. Okay, so as far as my goal for Q1, let me show you what I originally wrote down. So my goal for Q1 was for my habits and routines to become second nature so that I can start Q1 strong and build momentum for the rest of the year. I lost a lot of momentum in 2024. I wasn't well as far as my perimenopause symptoms. It literally has thrown me for a loop and kicked my butt. So I lost a lot of momentum. So that's what Q1 has been about now that I am feeling so much better. And so for January, I wrote that for my habits and routines to become second nature so I can feel good and have energy and motivation, start Q1 strong to build momentum for the rest of the year. And I felt that I did that in January. And then in February, continue making my habits and routines a priority so that I can become who I need to be to make my dreams happen. And I need to be disciplined with my schedule to build momentum that is sustainable all year. So February was about trial and error with that, with how busy we were. Now, every month isn't as busy as February was. And that's the thing with real estate is it's not something that we can even plan for, because spring market really is like May. But February, it was like, and I was talking to colleagues too, and we're like, what is happening? You know, it was great. Like, we're not complaining, but you just have to go with the flow. And so I'm glad that was my focus, because I feel good going into March. I don't feel discombobulated and, like what even happened? Like, I feel like I'm in control and on top of my game, which is a great place to be. So for March, I said to stay consistent with my habits and routines so that I can continue working at the level that allows me to reach my goals without burning out. And then make being disciplined with my schedule more of a priority for a strong Q2. Yeah, so that's my focus for the rest of Q1. And then my weekly goals, I broke them down here. So week 1, month recap with Ryan. So for him and I to sit down the first week of every month and recap. So I recap with you, I recap with myself, but sitting down with him and sharing with him all of the numbers on my end, and then him sharing with me, like newsletters, subscribers, did we have anybody unsubscribe, how many opens, like the analytics of the back end stuff I need to be aware of as well. So that goes both ways for him and I to do our month recap. 2 call sessions, that's repeated all month. Daily check-in, that's repeated. 2 CMAs, that's repeated. And then this week, buying our carbon copies, going to the board office this week to get our carbon copies for our listing package. Yeah. So that's everything broken down. And of course, when I do my weekly planning, I will add on as things start happening, and I need to make sure that I'm getting, more things done. And then as far as my schedule, not a lot scheduled yet. So far, it's just mainly personal appointments, which is nice. And then I did my master task list, which after scheduling my month would be to complete my master task list. So I got that done. And then transfer any tasks from the previous month. I did do that as well. So all those arrows are ones that I've moved over. Okay, and then update my KPI trackers, and that is done as well. And I will just show you. So my social media numbers and my activity numbers. I found this quite interesting. See, in January, I did 131 contacts. I actually did 8 leads, not 7. I don't know. I keep forgetting to update that. Yeah, 8 leads, and then I booked 2 appointments, went on 2 appointments and 2 contracts signed. But in February, I did a lot less contacts, same amount of leads pretty much, and I booked more appointments, went on more appointments, and signed new contracts. So it's, you know, that's why I'm not stressing out when I see I have a deficit of 200 and something, you know, 139 contacts for February, and then year to date 238, because if I'm on track with my other numbers, that just means that my conversions are higher, right? And this is why I check in based on current ratios, where I'm at and how that's changing my numbers. And it's important to, I used to set my goals for the year and then just leave them. And then I would, as the year would go on, feel like, you know, that pressure and that stress, like, oh, I'm behind. But it's like, but if you're on track with your financial goal, which is the main thing, and you're booking the right amount of appointments, you know, you're booking enough appointments and signing enough people and selling enough to, you know, to live, well, then that's okay if your leads and your contacts are behind, because it just means that your ratios are stronger. So it's important to check in with your goals consistently throughout the year. That was my long-winded point. Anyways, that's it. That is my plan with me for March and a recap of my goals for February. I was gonna say August again. What is with that? Why do I have August on my brain? I hope that was beneficial for you and helpful for you. If you do have questions, please let me know. And let me know if you would like, I have changed some things in here, so let me know if you would like an updated planner flip. I don't like to do them too often because it can be boring. But yeah, let me know if you are interested in that. Okay, so let me know in the comments, how was your February? Did you reach your goals? Was there anything that you fell behind on? What's your plan for March? I would love to know how you're doing and how you're feeling. Please let me know. All right, have a great rest of your day and your week, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.